It's called Reality of Us. Oh shit, okay, we go. Who we are together ain't some comic book fairy tale reality TV show script. Ain't nothing waiting beyond the credits for us. Ain't no secrets written on cards waiting on cue for us. Ain't no cameras capable of capturing the way our words can fly on walls and stick and sting sometimes, and soothe and heal and inflate bellies bloated full of laughter. Ain't no confessional booth safe enough to press play on all the bullshit and still be in love the morning after. But after every morning, there you are, with your words inspiring and sharp, cutting through my tough parts, exposing where I'm tender and how I tend to bark at your attempts at being tender, like when I taste salt instead of sugar and confuse your words wrong. My bad, my palate's still getting adjusted to your sweetness. Still trying to figure out how it is that that saline and sugar can be the main ingredients for both blood and love, and both have to do with a beating heart, and a heartbeat can sound like honey but feel like sap. You can't tell if it's the bees or the trees that keeps pulling you back like a spring, like a swing, like a pendulum, like a clapper, that thing on the Philly Liberty Bell ring, like a dream, like figuring it out in front of facing fears and tears, furious and on fire, flaming F-bombs, smashing egos into pieces, and then arguing about whose pieces it is. Don't know what peace is. Y'all, you can't deconstruct conflict in a war zone of masculinity. Two men in love, mad, measuring up, chest puffed, pissing contest over misunderstanding context don't always result in romantic kisses from the movies. More like fireworks of words on display in the month of November. Got the neighbors scared. Got way too much bass playing upstairs. Meanwhile, too much bass playing upstairs. All that vibrato rumbling. Meanwhile, two men are fumbling over gender roles, running crooked on the field because they ain't straight, and it ain't that simple. Y'all, it's complicated. Two men in love, frustrated. Ain't got nothing to do with who does the dinner. It depends on what you eat. Ain't got nothing to do with who does the dishes. It's whether or not they're clean. Simple shit that we keep stored in a bottle of resentment, and we shake it up and throw it downstairs in the dark basement. And I love you like sounds found in dark basements. The kind of thud where facing the source used to chase me up the steps. Afraid to look back to see if it was something. I don't look back to realize it's nothing. Instead, I ran. Ran because it felt brave. Ran because I was afraid of being pulled back down to some dark, familiar space where monsters have faces and names and no shame. Notice that urban legend never really ends with the real battle with the monster. Like it, heavy and ugly, breathing on your heels, waiting to see your fear, waiting for you to fall back down there. No one ever talks about the fight. No one ever tells you that your skin is too thick to withstand the blows, and that your heart beats harder than your blood can actually flow, and it makes you feel silly and weak, and you can't see. See, nobody talks about trying to swing in the darkness. No flesh tag, just black monster camouflaged. It's aiming for my rib cage and me just trying to protect my heart. Nobody talks about it that way. Instead, we always manage to make it atop the steps. Reach the top, relieved, believe that somehow we've dodged death because instead of bobbing and weaving right, we bobbed and Steve left and we almost missed it, and I almost missed you at risk of my own life. Because suicide ain't for cowards, y'all. You gotta be brave enough for love's fight. You gotta be willing to stand at this top. Ooh, how's that go? You gotta be brave enough for duck fight. I'm talking bootstraps and booby traps and grandma's prayers. You gotta be ready to stand at the foot of those stairs, and you stare that monster in its eye, and you dare it to move, and you say, love, I am not afraid of you. Poem.